All right. Well, I guess we're live here.
Yes,
Got my old coworker and old buddy Sammy Siegel here with
sir.
me today. Super excited.
Thanks for having me, Jake. Appreciate it, man.
Of course, he's a busy guy,
Yep.
busy, but he's taking some time to hang out here on a Saturday and catch up. So
Yeah.
we're super excited.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks, brother. Been a
yeah, of
while.
course. So I kind of wanted to so you and I know each other, but I wouldn't say I know you super well.
Right.
And so I think before we get into what you're doing right now,
Mhm.
I'd be curious just to know just like a little bit about childhood, where'd you grow up,
Yeah, man.
what were you into, that sort of thing, and we'll go
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, no. So, Long Island, New York. Was born and raised there. Lived there till I was 24. I'm 29 now. It's crazy. I've been in Raleigh now for going on, like 5 years. Um, yeah. I grew up there. I never thought I would leave there. Like I never thought I would leave, and then COVID comes, and
Okay.
you're kind of I started coaching Orange Theory in January of 2019.
Okay.
We launched a brand new studio. I had no idea like what Orange Theory was. My
Same.
mom was a member. I had just got done playing baseball in school. Um, and but I still had like 2 more years left of school after I was done playing.
Okay.
So I was kind of like looking for a job, and like my mom, who was a member at Orange Theory at the time, was like, "Hey, like you should go, you know, like, be an Orange Theory coach." I was like, "What's Orange Theory?" Like I had absolutely no idea, what it was, and um, so I had reached out to them, and I thought I was just going for like a sales associate job, right?
Oh, okay.
But they thought that I was going in there to be a coach. So, like it was actually funny because like I got done with the interview and then they called me. They were like, "All right, like your like coaching audition is going to be this day, this day." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Okay." Now this was hard for me because like I grew up with a really bad stutter, so
Okay.
I never thought that I would be able to do that. And it was still like pretty bad at that time, but they had talked about me opening a brand new studio with like a bunch of other coaches. Didn't really have like a head coach label yet. I actually wasn't a head coach. They actually had someone pre-planned for it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I absolutely fell in love with it. First couple months I would say were a little bit rough for me in terms,
Always,
but
always
yeah,
rough
no,
to
yeah,
start.
exactly. But yeah, I absolutely grew to love it. And then like a year and a couple months later, like the pandemic hit. Um,
Right. Okay.
so yeah, I'll never forget. It was like March, early March, bro. Like it was right after Kobe Bryant died too. Like it was just like
Yeah, I remember that
it
morning.
was the worst time. I was like, what is going on here?
Uh-huh.
And yeah, a couple weeks went by, right? A couple months went by, and I just like I never thought I would leave Long Island, but one of my really good buddies, he called me. And he was like, "Hey, like I'm thinking about going down south." And I'm
Wait,
like,
is this Vinny?
"Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay. I knew you guys were buddies.
yeah,
I wasn't sure.
yeah,
Okay.
Vinny, yeah."
You started coaching at Orange Theory in Long Island.
He was not coaching at Orange Theory in Long Island, but he was coaching up in Norwalk,
Okay.
Connecticut.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. He was there for work, and he started coaching Orange Theory up there. And yeah, like I'll never forget it. Like we were like at my place. I think it was like mid May. Like during the pandemic. It's like it's insane like how long it was, right?
Oh
But
my God, yeah.
yeah, he called me. He's like, "Hey, like I'm thinking about going south," and he said he had a flight booked to Charlotte like that weekend. He was like, "Do you want to come?" I was like, "I'll come and visit, but like I'm definitely not going to leave." So we go down to Charlotte, and man, like I fell in love with the South. And the reason why we wound up in Raleigh was because the day before, uh, Chapel Hill,
Hmm.
Brandon, he had posted that there was a head coach opening there. So I just like kind of yeah.
Uh,
So I just like kind of kicked the tires on it, bro. He called me back like 5 minutes later.
I'm sure they're
Um,
just waiting.
yeah, yeah. So he essentially was like, "Hey, like we would love to have you come and coach, like a staff workout." So I think the third day that we were in Charlotte, me and Vinny, we rented a car and we drove up to Raleigh. We both like co-coached a staff workout there, and I
Nice.
vividly remember like not wanting to leave Raleigh. I was like, dude, like this is gonna be home for us. So yeah, man, wound up there. I moved like September, I think September 21st or something like that, and I coached my first class at Midtown literally like the next morning after that. So
September 21st of 2020.
yep,
Okay, gotcha. So you beat
yep,
me there by a year.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and then like I absolutely fell in love with the Midtown studio, and that's I got named the head coach there like that March, I want to say. So it took me like 5 or 6 months.
Nice.
And then yeah, man, it kind of led me here, and but yeah, that's kind of like the upbringing. I
Sweet.
was baseball, football, basketball, like my whole life, and it just like really,
Okay.
yeah, like I really fell in love with um, you know, fitness as a whole. So
Sure. When you when did you start gravitating more towards baseball? Like, did that become your primary sport in high school, and then you played in college, or how'd that work out?
yeah. So baseball was always my sport. Honestly, football too, man. Like
Hmm.
baseball and football were like right there with me both. Um, I had more opportunities to play in college for baseball. Uh,
What was your position in football?
so football, I was a running back,
Nice.
wide receiver as well.
Okay.
Play a little bit of middle linebacker.
Yeah, I
So
could see that. I could see you as a
yeah,
linebacker.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. Love to hit people, so it was good.
Sure.
Baseball was just always kind of my passion, and yeah, I was fortunate enough to play up home, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So
What do you feel like, if anything, was like a major takeaway from playing baseball in college? Because I stopped sports in college. I did like club track,
yeah.
but
Still, that's awesome.
I didn't compete or anything like that. So,
Yeah,
what was it like being an athlete in college?
it was awesome, man. I didn't have the easiest road. Um, I I was not a late bloomer. I was an early bloomer when it came to baseball, and I was really really good when I was young. And then like I don't necessarily blame like my parents for this, but like my parents weren't very involved with like the off season training aspect of things.
Mm,
Right, like I don't like, and obviously like this is like my own fault too. But like I was never like I never knew like that I had to essentially like compete at higher levels like during the off season, like during the
okay,
summer.
sure.
Well, like it got to the point where I was like 15, 16, and like I was really good, but then like the ages from like 15 to 17 are super important because like that's where people like really start to get big and strong.
Yes.
And, like I'll never forget it. Like I went into my recruiting year, so like summer of going into senior year. Um, I like didn't really get into the gym at all. Like I was partying like, with my
Hmm.
friends over the summer and stuff like that. And like I had my first practice, and like I'll never forget it. Right, Coach Jimmy O, Vinny's dad actually was my baseball coach. Um, he says, "All right, we're gonna take like a 25-minute jog around the field, right? Like literally full uniform, cleats, everything, right? Baseball
Hmm.
pants. It's so hot in the summer, and bro, like I could not do the run. Like I was so out of shape, and I didn't really have the best recruiting year.
Hmm.
Like I got a couple looks, here and there, but like I never really got an offer from a school that like I really wanted to go to. So I went to SUNY Albany, New York, up there for 2 years. Uh, I played club baseball up there.
Okay, cool.
Kind of got into like the party scene and everything, like frats and stuff like that, and I knew that wasn't really like who I was, who I wanted to be, and I transferred after my sophomore year to a school, Montclair State in
Okay,
yeah, northern Jersey.
gotcha.
Um, I tried to walk on to the baseball team there. I didn't make it the first year, and
What was
uh,
that like? Having
it was
played?
hard, bro, because like I know like a lot of people say this, but like I'm like very firm on like when I say this, like I knew I had the confidence and like I knew I was good enough like to be on that team.
Hmm.
Um, the coach that year he brought in like 30 freshmen, and like
Mm,
they essentially were like retooling the roster, so he didn't have a spot for me. He said he wanted me to be a part of the team in like some capacity, but it was more of like a manager type thing where like I would just kind of like go to practice and everything and just like like throw some batting practice and everything like that, which I did. I did it because like I was really good friends like with the guys on the team.
okay.
And then at the end of the year, everybody gets like an exit interview.
Sure.
So I had asked the coach like for an exit interview, and I was like the last one to meet with him, and I said I was like, hey, like, were you kind of like bringing me on because you saw that I have a spot next year, or like did you kind of just like want some help during the season? And he was like, I definitely don't see a spot for you like next year. Like literally said, like he was like, it'll be very hard for you like to make the team next year. And I was like, can you at least like give me a tryout?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, yeah, like I'll give you a tryout during the fall. So I went home that summer and I played in the Long Island like college baseball league.
Okay.
So I did really well, and I tried out at Montclair the next fall, and like I made the team.
Let's go.
I made the team. Like I was really excited about it. You know, like living out my dream and everything. Um, Now I had a really, 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 really good fall. Like at one point, like I had to essentially learn how to play, you know, like every single, you know, position because like they had a lot of guys, right? Like, you know, like different, you know, like spots
Gotcha.
and everything. So
Uh-huh.
I started out like as a starting first baseman and had a really, really good fall. And then we get to like January, you know, February, right? Like that's when, you know, like the season starts up and like up there, but like it's so cold, like you're barely practicing outside. So we had a lot of like live at bats indoors and stuff like that, you know, like in the gym and everything. And like I didn't really have a great start to the year, and I immediately went from like the starting first baseman to like essentially someone that wasn't even taking like infield outfield like with the team.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was I was I was literally like never going to see the field like, and I wasn't a huge fan of the coach. Like no one really was, to be honest with you. And like it's never the coach's fault, but like there are some coaches out there that are just like not not great
Yeah. For
players
sure.
coaches.
For
You know,
sure.
so the guy I played for over the summer, Coach Reardon, was the head coach at uh, uh, Queens College in New York. I had a really good summer playing for him, and we built a really strong bond. And I called him one day. I was like, "Hey, like if I were to transfer to you, like next year, do you have a spot for me?" And he was like, "If you transfer here tomorrow, I have a spot for you."
Oh, let's go. Sure. Uh-huh.
I essentially left the team at Montclair because like I knew that I deserved better. Um, I was going home every single weekend, and I was training my ass off. And yeah, wound up, you know, transferring to Queens College. I literally had like 1 year of eligibility left because you have to
Okay. That
play
was my
your
next
four
question.
years in 5 years of college.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had, you know, like 1 year of eligibility left, and yeah, man, I had a really good year at Queens College. So I essentially didn't play all 4 years, but you know, I definitely got to live out my dream. And you know, the one goal was, you know, like to bat over, you know, 300, and I wound up hitting I think like 304.
Oh, perfect. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, it was right there. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. And but you know, I knew after that like I didn't want to do anything else besides like some sort of, you know, like fitness, you know, career and everything like that, because like I know like how hard it is to get to a place of, you know, like where you want to be. And you know, wanting to change, you know, like people's lives was just, I guess, you know, like my passion. So I
Yeah.
know, I know that was like a long story, but
No, I mean, that's what I was looking for. Just a little bit of context. And so, what what was it about being in sports that gave you the bug of, okay, I want to bring the gift of fitness into people's
yeah,
lives?
yeah,
And when did you get certified, or what was your degree also? So,
yeah. So I actually, so it took me 7 years to get my undergrad.
mhm.
Um,
Took me 5, so I hear
I
you.
got, I got something called um, uh, interdisciplinary,
Okay,
which means like you could kind of combine like two majors into one. Like
sweet.
you know, you take like a certain amount of credits like for each class or whatever. So I combined uh, exercise science and psychology
Oh,
because
okay, yeah.
yeah, yeah, because I knew that I was gonna because I knew I was gonna be working with people, you know, like in fitness, and I wanted to learn, you know, like the, you know, like psychology behind like essentially dealing with like multiple different, you know, like types of people and stuff like that. But to answer your question, I just love like the competitive atmosphere when it comes to
Mm.
fitness. Not that like people have to, you know, compete in class, but I think it's just like the competition of like you versus you, right? You
Yes.
know, like I think is like very really important. I think it really like
Better than yesterday.
brings the best out of people. Exactly. So yeah, man. I just I also like when I went to Albany, I went in like with the intentions of essentially being just like a business major,
Mm.
and I like failed like accounting 101, which is like the easiest accounting class, and I was like, all right, I'm definitely not going to be a business major.
Yeah.
So I figured like why try to change like who I am and like just go with like what I've always known. So
Yeah. Play to your strengths for sure.
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. So when did you start at Orange Theory before you graduated in Long Island, or did you start
Yeah.
Orange Theory after? Okay. So
Mhm.
you're still taking
Yeah,
classes when you
yeah,
start Orange Theory.
yeah, yeah. So I was, yeah. So I got done with baseball, and I still had like a year and a half left of school. And yeah. So like I started coaching Orange Theory the year I got done with baseball. Um, like I was taking class at Queens, and then like I would drive like 30 minutes, like, with traffic to like my Orange Theory studio.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, so I was there for a year. COVID hit. But no, I mean, like I never expected Orange Theory to be like my ultimate, like career path, but like essentially it did. But it like it led me to where I am today, and like I'm very very thankful for that journey, of course.
Oh, totally.
So
When I went to my Orange Theory interview, I also had no idea what it was. Like
I
no
have no idea
one,
what I was getting into. Yep.
yeah, no one knew it was, or no one that I knew did Orange Theory, at
Mhm.
least to my knowledge.
Yeah.
And so when I showed up, all I knew was like from doing research. So I started looking during COVID because
Mhm.
everything was closed, and then Orange
Yep.
Theory had opened up, and I had gotten some jobs in the field, like in personal training, and then I had barely started them, and COVID hit, and I lost all of it.
Right.
And so I was doing some in-home training. That was it. And when I went to Orange Theory, I remember they interviewed me, and they're like, "So why do you want to work here?" I was like, "Well, honestly, I was reading online, and I heard that the audition process was challenging, and I just want to challenge myself."
Yeah.
And they were like, and they were like, "What do you know
Yeah.
about Orange Theory?" I was like, "I don't know anything about Orange
I have no
Theory.
idea what. Yeah. Like
Like, I
I
have
have
no clue what this is."
no idea. I just want to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need a job in the industry, and I want to challenge myself. And they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, sounds good."
I never thought I would be on a microphone like in front of a lot of people. Like that was never like my thing. Like I'm a
Hmm.
terrible, terrible public speaker. So bad. Like if you would have put me on a podium in front of like 100 people, like I couldn't speak. But it's something about just like like the energy, right? Like when it comes to fitness. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, maybe I'll save the question I was about to ask for a little bit later. But when when you started, did you get like super nervous before class? Because I used to like get so nervous, I would have to like go to the bathroom. Like I'd have
Yeah.
nervous shits
Oh,
beforehand,
dude, I
and I'm
literally
not going.
they thought I had so many problems like with my stomach because like I just couldn't control myself. Um, But I'll never forget this. Like my first Orange Theory class, and again, like I grew up with a really bad stutter, so like I never
Uh-huh.
thought I was going to be able to do this. Um, my first ever Orange Theory class. So we had something back in the day. I don't think they had it when you started, but if you were to open up a new studio, Orange Theory corporate had something called like launch templates,
Okay.
where your studio would do 45 days of essentially like not necessarily like beginner Orange Theory workouts because like yeah, obviously really they're all tough,
Hmm.
but beginner workouts for coaches essentially. So like
Mm.
pretty basic stuff, and I'll never forget the first block was like a 6 minute block, and it was like a it was like 3 minute push, 2 minute base, like 1 minute all out.
Okay.
So like I'm taking them like through their push, and like I'm all, and there's like they forgot to launch like the opening date for my studio, so there was like 7 people like in the 5 a.m.
Mm.
class, and I taught like the first class, and I took them into this 3 minute push, and like my uh what's it called, like my supervisor's outside, and you're like in the lobby, like watching, right? um Regional, I guess you would say.
Mm. Yep.
And so I take them into the 3 minute push, and I never bring them back to base. So I literally took them into like a 5-minute push into like a 1 minute all out at their OrangeTheory journeys. I didn't know that until like after the class. But like people after like the first block were like absolutely gashed. Like they're like, "Oh my god, like what is this?"
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Yeah, like it's awesome, like so like after the class, right? Like my regional, who works for corporate now, RJ comes inside and he's like, "Hey, like, do you know like what you did like in that first block?" I was like, "No, no, like I thought it was great." He's like, "You never brought them back to base, and that's why they were so gassed." So, but yeah, I was like very very nervous, bro. I even now doing like what I'm doing, right? Like I still get nervous at times. I think it's I don't think it's nerves of like not feeling confident. I think it's just nerves of like you want to give the best experience possible to
Right.
people, right? So
Right.
you know I've always learned that like no matter what you're going through, right? Like personal, whatever it is, like to leave that at the door, right? Because like these are people's like 1 hour out of their day, and like they like they're trusting you, with that hour, right? Like to get
Yes.
the best experience possible, and so yeah. But I would get like very 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 nervous, especially like when I first was starting out. So
Oh, it was terrible. I I'm one of those people who I don't mind public speaking.
yeah,
But I think it was just the stakes of having to time while
yeah.
be on the mic.
Oh yeah, so
I
like overwhelming.
oh, so
Yeah,
overwhelming.
overwhelming.
And it's like if you're late on timing, then what? Like I was like, then
Yeah,
you're screwed. Then the whole class is messed up. And
yeah,
granted, you can fix it, but at the time, you're just like, oh my gosh, if I don't get this timing,
yeah.
what's gonna happen?
Exactly. And we did something called launch training, right? Like going into the new studio. So it was me and all of the other coaches, and we went through like 4 days of training. It was like 8 to 6 p.m., 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for like 4 days straight, and they just drilled everything into you like during those 4 days. I'm like, okay, like I don't remember one thing I learned, but here we go. Like, so
Yeah, we're doing it.
we're just gonna do it. So
Yeah,
well, I mean, like 99% of members are like really, like understanding about everything too.
definitely.
Like they know that you're new, and but yeah, man, it was like I always tell people like I really like I grew up at Orange Theory. Like
Yes.
like I started there when I was 23. Like I'm 29 now. I left Orange Theory permanently back in January of 2024.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, like this past January of
Because you were
last
just
year.
doing part time because you'd already
Yeah,
stepped down
yeah,
as head coach. Yeah.
yeah. But like I really give Orange Theory and just like the people that like helped me along the way like so much credit. I would have not have developed the life skills I have now if it wasn't for that. So I love those people to death, and even now, bro, like I still think like it's a great workout. You
Oh,
know,
100%.
I just think
100%.
there's more to fitness that's outside in like the corporate world.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Yes. Yes. We're on the same page as far as that goes. Yeah, no, Orange Theory is awesome. I think you can see some amazing results.
yeah,
And, I think, especially if you're looking for a little bit of everything
yeah.
and you don't want to think about it.
You become a hell of a runner there for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. What was it like for you to become head coach in terms of just like donning some additional responsibility and trying
Yeah.
to grow the studio, taking on not, I mean, head coaches are sort of involved on the business side. What was it like sort of stepping into that for you?
It was humbling. It really was. I always had people skills. I always had social skills. I did not have any leadership skills. I had leadership skills when it came to sports, right? Like baseball, like I always wanted to be the guy, like to take the young guys like under my wing and everything like that.
Hmm.
But being a leader when it comes to like not necessarily business, but like being a leader like of a team, um, of like I guess you would say team of other coaches. Like
Yeah.
I did not have like a lot of those skills. So it was very humbling for me because I would do things like unintentionally, of course, but that would only benefit me instead of my team, right? And this was like back on Long Island. When I got to Raleigh, like it was a little bit different. You know, like I learned a lot, but I feel like it was a rough start, but I feel like I ultimately, you know, like definitely embraced it. And I learned from a lot of, you know, like really good people along the way. If I didn't have the leadership skills that I established, like I would not be able to do what I'm doing now.
Oh,
Um,
I'm sure. I'm sure.
you know, so yeah, but at first it was like I really had to learn, you know, how to become a proper leader, you know,
Yeah.
for sure. So, but yeah, I mean, taking care of like the business side of things, like that was fine. I feel like when you're at a place like Orange Theory, you know, like at 45 or you know, like wherever it is, it's like it, the ultimate, you know, like the community matters more
That's
so than anything
paramount.
else, right?
Mhm.
So like I knew how to build that, but I didn't really know like how to develop other people.
Okay.
You
So
know,
how do you feel like you got that skill set, and did you
yeah,
have any sort of
you know,
were there any mentors specifically that you feel like helped you there?
yeah. Scotty Banks,
Sure.
you know, Aaron McGoldrick. Um, so you know, Colin, right? Colin Griffin.
Yes. Yep.
So Colin, one of my best friends to this day. Love Colin and
And he's
Lindsay.
in
Great.
Indiana now, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
With Scotty.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And I think he's been a head coach now for like 2 years up there.
Wow. Uh huh.
He was my first. I wouldn't even call it a project just because I love. He was a person that moved down to Raleigh, didn't really have any group fitness experience, and he would. So I actually took him under my wing when I wasn't named, you know, like the head coach of Raleigh yet. And I think when I expressed to them like how badly I wanted, you know, like that position, like I had to prove to them that I was capable of doing it, right? So I offered to kind of take Colin, you know, like under my wing, and you know, me and Colin worked extremely hard, you know, like to turn him into the coach that like he is now, right? He's absolutely incredible, but I think really what I learned from that was like taking myself and putting it into you know, like his perspective, right? A new person coming into a studio that had like 900 members,
Yeah.
right?
Raleigh Midtown was huge.
Classes are packed. Like he like it was a rough start for him, but like he really did well like as time went on. And I owe all of the credit to him. But he was a person that like I don't think he knows like how much he actually like played an impact in me becoming the leader that I became because he was like the first person that I really took under my wing and like really wanted to help. Um, and yeah, like I'm like super proud of him, man. Like he's doing absolutely outstanding up there, and yeah, that was a fun time for me and him because like he knew that I was going for the position, and I appreciate him for allowing you know like himself to you know like lean on me, you
Kind of be
know,
the guinea pig for
to
you to get in
actually
there.
yeah to, like to help him out. So yeah, that was a really big moment for me, and yeah, you know, kind of just established you know, like a consistent like leadership process you know, from there. So
Nice. How long were you head coach at Raleigh Midtown?
3 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Three.
think maybe like 2.5 to 3 years. I want to say. So
So when what when you decided to leave, I was still in North Carolina when you
mhm,
decided to step down, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Yeah, I stepped down in March of 23.
Yeah, so that was like 3 months,
Yeah,
three months or so before I dipped out.
yeah,
Um, what what was the decision making process that led up to you wanting to step down, and what were your goals at the time of
right.
stepping down?
I think for me, I think the more involved I was in the fitness industry, like the longer I was in it, you know, like the longer you learn, obviously. But I'm sorry, the more that you learn about the like the industry, obviously, right? And like I became a sponge as far as like how do I get people the best results possible that they are looking to see, right? And I think for me, what happened for me was I think I started to become a little bit like not as passionate about the Orange Theory product as I used to be,
Hmm.
and for me, the reason why I wanted to step down was because I felt like it was unfair for the Midtown studio to have a leader that wasn't as passionate about the product as he used to be.
Hmm.
And I felt like for my career path at that time, like I didn't think OrangeTheory was going to be like my end all be all,
Right.
right? Um, there was a position that had opened. Um, do you remember when Raleigh or like the Raleigh area kind of like branched off like the regionals, like
Yeah.
for Raleigh, like it was Maggie, and then like for you guys, it was Tommy and
Yes.
like what? Yeah, so I really wanted like one of those positions at one point,
Uh-huh.
and I think when I didn't get it, it kind of forced me to take a step back and like kind of like ask myself, okay, like why didn't I get like that position? Because like I was very expressive that like, hey, like I really want this position.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I knew that you wanted it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, um, you know, that's when I also knew like, hey, like I had a lot to learn at that point too. Like leadership wise, right? Like I wasn't being the best leader at that point, right? So I think for me, it's like it was a combination of do I want OrangeTheory to be my career path versus like, okay, how passionate are you about this product? And I will never forget this. Like I had posted an Instagram story just saying that I was going to start to train people like one on one,
Hmm.
like on the side because like I wanted to start to build like some extra like income and like
Yeah.
it was honestly just meant to be like a side thing, and like it blew up, man. Like I got like a lot of inquiries, and I think for me, like the thing with OrangeTheory is like as great of a workout it is, I don't think it's a place where you're going to build a ton of strength. Like I think it lacks a lot of stuff like in the programming where yes, like it's great that the workout's different every single day, but like you have to be consistent with a lot of movements, like in order to continue, like to make progress on them,
Right.
right? I felt like they didn't really take the members into account where it's like, okay, if like I think the statistic was like the actual member comes like 2.7 times a week,
Hmm.
right?
Like if they're a premier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like at that point, if you're only seeing, you know, like a chest press, right? Like once or twice a month, right? Like, are you really going to make progress in those movements, right? Are you really going to get
Especially if the
stronger?
rep range is different.
Exactly,
And you didn't get to start on the floor. You came after the tread, you know?
exactly,
Uh-huh.
exactly. So I think once I just like started to realize, hey, like there's a lot more to fitness and like where people could really see, like the results that they are, really, looking for. So yeah, so that so that Instagram story turned into my online fitness business
Hmm.
that I had for 2 years, and it really blew up quickly to the point where like I knew that that was the path that I wanted to take. And again, like I just felt like it was really selfish of me if I stayed on like as the head coach of OrangeTheory, when I wasn't like as passionate about the product as I used to be. I still like really enjoyed coaching, but it also made coaching every single day like not as enjoyable. So I knew like I wanted to still coach, but I didn't want to do it as often. So I think I dropped down like 2 or 3 days a week, um, and then kind of leads us to now, right? Like I always knew I still wanted to coach in person.
Hmm.
Um, I just never like it's gonna sound like selfish, but like I've always wanted to be like my own boss. Like I wanted to have my own brand, like
Totally.
my product, and so yeah, man. But if I didn't have the online business, I wouldn't have known like what the hell to do as far as this thing goes that I'm doing now. So
Right, right. And so I'm definitely curious about that journey. So, you post an Instagram story. Did you have like a fair amount of followers at the time?
I had like a couple thousand Instagram followers,
Okay,
nothing
so that's
crazy,
pretty solid.
but
Um,
it
so
was yeah.
go on, go on, go
Oh
on.
no, I was gonna say like it was more so people that had responded that were like working with OrangeTheory that like just wanted some like side strength conditioning, strength training,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Okay.
know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. Um, because I can't remember specifically when, but obviously you started gearing your content towards
yeah,
training.
yeah.
And I think you were still this is after you stepped down as head coach,
Yep.
probably.
Mhm.
Um,
That was
what,
a really good transition.
yeah, how did you start thinking of content, and then how did your strategy change,
Yeah,
as you progressed?
yeah. So that was a really big transition for me because I never knew like. I don't like, even to this day, I'm still not good at like the business side of things, right? Um, I knew that what I was doing as far as online coaching goes had a lot of potential, and I knew that people were able to resonate with my journey, for like what I went through and stuff like that. So like I really catered it to like a lot of, like former, like athletes who kind of like lost themselves, like,
Yeah. Do you want to explain a little bit of that and how
yeah,
how that they might
yeah,
relate
yeah,
to you? Uh-huh.
yeah. I think like after I played, after, well, after, so when I went to college, right, when I went to Albany, like I really lost myself. Like I gained like 25, 30 pounds of fat. Like I was out, like it was a mess. And that was post, like athletic career, like with high school and everything like that. Obviously, like I played in college and like I stayed in shape after that. But like I really wanted to cater to people that were, like former athletes who like kind of lost themselves, like post athletic career. Um, it's like, hey, like, like I've been in your shoes before. Like let me
Mhm.
help you out. So, creating online content was very new to me. I'm very camera shy. Like I don't enjoy being in front of a camera. But I joined like an online business mentorship
Yes, I
program.
remember that.
Yeah, catered to online fitness coaches, and that taught me a lot. It really got my business like off of the ground and everything, and like it taught me a lot of specific marketing tactics.
Nice.
Um, so I started to learn like the business side aspect of that. Um, and then as I went on, like with my online business, like it still didn't really fill my cup up.
Mhm.
Like at one point, bro, like it was popping. Like had like 70 online clients at one point,
Wow, that's a
and
lot.
yeah, and like I was doing really really well with it, but like my cup still wasn't being full, you know, like I was kind of tired of being home during the day and like coaching people online. Um, I missed, like the whole, like in person community aspect of things. I knew I didn't want to be a one on one personal trainer in person, but I wanted to build, like kind of what I built at Midtown, but like my own thing. So,
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's something that is hard to realize if you're used to being, whether it's a one-on-one trainer or a group fitness instructor, and you
yeah,
want to move to online coaching,
yeah,
is you've essentially just moved yourself into a desk job.
right.
Um, and
Yeah,
I I do some online programming as well. And literally yesterday, I think I edited two people's program, and then I finished two programs and then edited another. And it wasn't that long, but I mean, I maybe did like 3 hours of work just at my kitchen table. And I
yeah,
got up and I was like, oh my God, that was ass.
yeah.
I loved it. I loved the like brainstorming and being creative, but just like sitting behind a computer, I was like, this
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, I was making really good money online too.
Oh, I
Really
believe
really
it.
good money online, and like even then, like I like I had to force myself like to go to Starbucks every day and work because like I didn't want to be home, and like I just felt like my purpose wasn't being like fulfilled. Especially knowing like what I built back on like Long Island and like what I built at Midtown, like I knew like what I was capable of doing.
Hmm.
Um, and one of my really good buddies, Evan, back home, he opened up his own thing post COVID too. Um, OG, uh, OG Training Academy,
OG Training
and
Academy.
he like really set the standard for me. Like I saw what he was doing. I went home specifically just to take like a week straight of like his classes, and I was like, dude, like this is what I want to do down in Raleigh. And like shout out Evan, like he has been such a good resource for me, man. Like he's always picking up the phone if I call. But he has set like a really good standard for honestly like all fitness like entrepreneurs like to follow. And like he came from the exact same background as me. you know he was with OrangeTheory there for a while, and what he's done up there really set the standard for me down here. um, and yeah, he's been a huge help. And I think what I really wanted to do was like I wanted to cater to people that have been in the group fitness industry for a long time that are kind of looking for like that next step. Like especially in Raleigh, like I feel like there's no like independently owned, like group fitness spots that are really focusing on like structured programming and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
Evan was a great resource for me, man. So yeah,
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so you're realizing with your group, or you're realizing that online coaching, while lucrative, isn't scratching the itch of the in-person sort of group fitness environment, but you're not looking to do Orange Theory again.
yeah.
Um, what is the process of realizing, okay, I'm gonna open my own group fitness gym facility situation?
Man, like it's funny that you asked because like I like again like I knew that was always the ultimate goal, but I just never know like how to do it right. So I really just like became a sponge. My best friend in Raleigh, Brandon Brandon Baker.
Hmm.
Um, he's very good with business. He's the first. He's the CEO of First Tee in Raleigh, like
Okay.
nonprofit golf organization, and he's very very good at what he does. I called him one day. I was like, "Hey, can we meet for coffee one day? Like, I want to bounce some ideas off you." And he was like, "Yeah, of course." Go to Starbucks like a summer morning, and I'm like, "Hey, like, I really want to open up my own group fitness gym, but I have no idea like what the hell to do."
Right.
So he essentially like like help me make like a business plan template
Yep.
like
Okay.
go off of, right? Like vision ideas, right? Like like financials and like everything like that. So like we kind of built it up. He was a huge resource, like a huge help for me. And like I still don't know the first thing when it comes to business. Like I have no idea what the hell I'm doing still, but I know how to build a product and I know how to like bring people together,
Hey, the
right?
doors are open, baby. You're doing
Yeah,
something.
exactly. So like I knew that if I could do that, then like the rest would kind of take care of itself, right? So honestly, it was really hard. You know, building empire was hard. Um, Obviously, like it was never going to be easy, but because I didn't have any like like I don't. I don't own a home. I don't own any cars, right? Like everything's rented or leased. Like I don't have any like financial backing, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know like if you've seen, but like Raleigh's growing like crazy, right?
Hmm.
You know, like the construction's everywhere. So like I would inquire about all of like these new spots coming up, and like the rents, like really really high and everything, and like they're all owned by like corporate, like realtors essentially,
Yep.
and like
Unlimited backing.
yeah, exactly. Like they don't want to give a person like me a shot, right? So like I'll never forget this. It was actually around my wedding time. I had finally nailed down a spot after looking for months and months and months, and the spot was 2,100 square feet,
Hmm.
small. I have 4,000 right now, small, right? I'm sorry, 4,000 is perfect for what I want to do, right?
Hmm.
2,100 small.
Gotcha.
Like I did not think about like what I was doing. Like I knew I just wanted a spot and boom. So we were about 2 days away from actually getting a lease signed, and the person that I was in communication with just like went cold, like didn't hear from him for days. And like I was talking to my realtor, I'm like, hey, like something's not right here. He's like, no, like just give it time. Like it's over the summer. Like people are going away. I'm like, no, man. Like we were talking to this guy every single day, and like he just kind of went blind. So I drove I drove to the real estate office. I was like, hey, like what's going on here? Like I was advised like not to drive to the real estate office. Like he was like, hey, like I really don't think that you should do that. I'm like, no, like I'm doing it.
Uh-huh.
So, so I went there, and it turns out that the property manager for the spot, right, like he got fired
Oh.
because apparently the deal that we were about to do, the owners did not agree with. He was just going to do it anyway. Like, bro, like I was about to get like 9 months rent free. And I'm like,
Whoa.
that's crazy. Like, that's so cool. Like, it's unheard of. So, but yeah, thank God it didn't work out because, like, I would not have been able to fit what I wanted to do in there and
Right.
like, in that space, right? So, like me and my broker, right? Like we, like went back to the drawing board, and at this time, like I still had my online business, but like it kind of took a little bit of a hit. Like once I started putting, like all my eggs into this basket.
Well, that's the
Um,
thing about like online coaching too, is like, sometimes people finish their plan and they're like, okay, I'm good. And they'll come
it's,
back, in a year. So like
it's
the waves are real if you're not constantly chasing
that
leads.
that was really hard for me too. Where it's like, okay, because it's hard to market yourself enough online. Like you're really not getting that much exposure unless you have one or two videos that get like
That
over
just
a hundred
blow up.
thousand views. Exactly. And I had like one of those, um, but anyway, like we started to like look for spots again, and like the spot that I'm in now, like I never thought that I would get because like it's really like it's pretty high rent and the amount of rent. So like I don't pay rent until June, but like the rent's $11,000. When you hear that number, like it scares the hell out of you, right? You're like,
Of
damn, like
course.
$11,000 for rent, like that's a lot of freaking money. But you don't realize, like, okay, that only takes like 75 members to cover, right?
Okay.
So that's where like my thought process was like when my broker was like, hey, like this may be the only spot because this actually, so where I am is actually owned by like an independent family, right? Like the shopping
Cool.
center is owned by like an independent family, and they like seeing people who aren't necessarily part of a corporate group, right? Like in there.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I didn't realize this, but like I was competing against an ISI, um,
Oh, yeah.
like to go for the spot, and I didn't really know this until they told me, like, hey, we have another offer on the table from this also, corporate group fitness space. They actually offered more rent. They offered more years personally guaranteed on the lease. They just wanted me to meet a number in between of where they were and where I was because they wanted to give it to like an independently owned person. So once I got that, I was like, all right, like this is definitely the spot for me. So when I'm getting the spot that I never thought um, you know that was possible, and like everything just like works out in a way, bro, where like you never expect it to work out, but like the proper way. And yeah, I signed a lease in October. Um, my contractor was awesome. We had like 2.5 months of construction. I actually opened up on like the opening date that I wanted to open up, which essentially like never happens. So like the whole time, it just really felt like all of the cards like were you know going to be like in my place. And but yeah, running a business is definitely hard. It's eye opening, but I've been having a blast with it because um, like we've grown a lot in the first month, and like I'm just super thankful for that. So
So you opened door. So wait, hold on. You signed the lease in October of 24.
yes, October 20th.
Dang. Okay, because I was just like doing some, I was counting my fingers on the side over here. That's a
You know,
quick turnaround, right?
yeah, and like it was crazy because like I never thought that it would take like so little time. Like we opened our doors on January 27th. Like that's when like our first three
Stop
weeks
it.
started.
Hold
You know
on,
what's funny
November.
too? We right after we posted the grand opening date on Instagram, right? So we didn't have any issues like leading up to that point, right? Everything was going smoothly, right? Like
Like you're getting equipment, you're getting
yeah,
lights, you're getting all this stuff, paint,
exactly.
floor.
Yeah. First round of inspections are good, right? Like everything's going. The day after we posted the grand opening date, something comes up with like the fire issue or something like that, like with the building.
Oh.
The contractor goes, "Hey, like this may postpone you like a month." I'm like, no,
Oh.
no, it's not. I'm like, no, like this isn't happening.
We're here.
Exactly. So I was a menace with the city of Raleigh. Like I was an absolute like I was driving to the city of Raleigh permitting office every single day, trying to get things approved, right? Because I had already started like a pre-sale, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah, you
like
have to.
it's not like I'm the coffee shop across the street where if they have like a 4 month like delay, right? Like they're still going to be fine because people need their coffee every day, right?
Yeah,
For me,
caffeine
it's
addict.
like, yeah. For me, it's like I have people's cards that are ready to be charged on this day, and if I'm not open, it's a whole like. law thing with like the agreements and stuff like that. So we didn't get our we didn't so we were going to open on Monday, January 27th. We didn't get our final inspection approved until literally the Friday before.
Wow. So you
So it was
so you literally
literally,
you had the weekend.
and bro, it was so funny because that week, right, bro, like it never snows in Raleigh. We had a snow day on Wednesday, and like inspections were off that day. Well, I'm like, of course, like the one freaking snow day is gonna postpone me, but nah, I was my heart was racing for a long time, man. Like, but honestly, like it was a great time, dude. Like it was like it was a great time just like getting this thing opened and like seeing the vision, come to life.
Oh,
So
I can only imagine how gratifying that would feel,
yeah,
to see it all come together. So, leading up to the opening day, you're picking out equipment. Like, when did you figure out what the training philosophy
yeah.
of Empire was going to be, and then how did that lead to like picking out equipment and that sort of thing?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a really good question. And again, like my buddy Evan up north, like he was a huge, resource for me. Like I knew I wanted something more strength based, with the proper amount of, conditioning, and it's kind of like the perfect workout for someone who's like a hybrid athlete, right?
Yep.
So yeah, like you will have your conditioning in class and everything, like a lot of sprint intervals, like
Hmm.
some interval runs and everything, like a little bit of rowing, like some you know skiers,
Okay.
you know you know bike stuff as well. But like I knew I wanted to be like a primary strength place where people can actually build strength over time. Um, like I pick one compound movement every day for the span of a month that like they're gonna do every single week over the course of 4 weeks,
So,
right?
like Monday is deadlift.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
Tuesday is like incline bench press, right? Like that kind of
Sweet,
stuff.
sweet.
So and I solely focus like right now on skill development aspect of those things. So like eccentrics,
Yeah.
you know isometrics, like that kind of stuff, to really just like show people the proper way to train. And then like as far as your conditioning goes, like it's not nearly as much as like an Orange Theory or like an F45. Like everything conditioning wise that we do, unless like it is an actual conditioning day, which is twice a week.
Okay.
Everything that we
Okay, that's
do,
good.
yeah, like everything that we do, conditioning wise during the workout is like a complement, like to your strength training. Like if it's like a heavy lower or upper day, right? Like you're essentially just kind of going for like an active recovery jog, like in order to get ready for like your next set or something like that.
Okay, so let's
Right?
say like deadlift, active recovery jog, and then do I rest or what's that like?
Deadlift, active recovery jog, like take a second, like back to your next set.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, it's a place, and again, like I've kind of marketed it like as a place where people like they have been in the group fitness industry for a while that are looking for like their next step. Um, it's been fun because I have a lot of group fitness coaches and like instructors in Raleigh that have actually joined Empire. You know,
As
just
members?
yeah.
Nice, very cool.
So um, yeah, it's like it's a place where you're really going to build a lot of strength over time.
Awesome.
Um, and I just don't think that cardio is like the end all be all, right? So it's um,
Well, I mean, strength has better predictors for longevity. Not to say that cardio doesn't have an
no,
increased benefit
of
of
course,
longevity.
but it's been fun to see people who essentially like couldn't even like lift the bar like in their first week, like and now they're loading like 10, 15 pounds on each side.
Yeah, clanging and banging,
So
baby.
yeah, that's what's really been like the fun part about it. As far as like the business side grows, man, like we had a goal of 150 members by June. We opened up with like 70 pre-sale,
Mhm.
so like we had a goal of 150 members by June, and like the other day we hit 250.
Shit, are you kidding
So
me?
yeah, so it's been
Wait,
a
and
lot of
6 weeks ago as you opened?
yeah, It's been a lot of fun.
Wow.
It's been a lot of fun. But
Wow.
I have a great, like marketing team. You know, like
Yeah, how did they come about? Like, how did you find these people?
yeah. So I work with Emily Almond. Remember her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she kind of branched off on her own a little bit. You know, I work
Whoa,
with
that's
her.
cool.
And then my social media team is great. So I met my social media guys at the gym I go to. They kind of branded like my gym's brand and stuff like that, and then they're like, "Hey, like we would love to like do your Instagram." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Anything I could do like to not have to do it, right?"
For
So
dude, I feel you so hard there.
I think what happened, what really got us going was so we had like a pretty good amount of traction, like leading up to it and everything. Um, I was doing like outdoor workouts in like a parking garage for like I don't know like 2 3 months at a time.
Yes, I
But
saw those.
I wanted to host like a promo class for a lot of like our um, pre-sale members.
Hmm.
So we did that the week before we actually opened, and my social media team came in and they filmed like a hype video for it.
Sick.
And so we started the free week on Monday, January 27th, and we posted that video like the Wednesday before the first week. And dude, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like my phone did not stop blowing up. People wanting to like sign up for pre-sale, right? Like get booked into like the first week, and like if we did not post that video, like we would not be anywhere near where we are right now. So like that was huge for us.
Hmm.
Um, it's been fun because the atmosphere is very young. Like it's a very young, energetic vibe. Like
Sure.
people our age, and like people, the members are freaking awesome, man. Like I love them to death. Like everyone is so nice, and but like at the same time, like they are intense as hell.
Yeah, they're there to get after it.
Yeah, yeah. So like no, I love that. But
That's
I'm
awesome.
yeah, I couldn't be more blessed for like what we've done. So
That's so cool. I love that story. So how did you go about hiring coaches
yeah.
and like do they do any programming? Is it Sammy's programming? Like how does that work out?
Yeah, so Virginia and I worked in OrangeTheory together for a
Okay.
while, and like she became one of like my best friends. She's a hell of a coach. She's got that like bad bitch energy to her.
Yeah,
So
yeah, okay. Uh-huh.
I do all of the programming, but like I do want to eventually get to a point where it's like, hey, like I want you to program like 2 workouts that you want to do this week, like for yourself, right? Stick to the one, like compound, like progressional movement and everything.
Uh-huh.
And then Whitney, who's going to be starting next week, I had her as an Orange Theory member for 3 years. Um, she has her certified strength and conditioning coach certification.
Sweet.
She's a full time physical therapist, but she's just like absolutely awesome. She loves all the members, works extremely hard. So like I had like a few people in mind that I wanted to like hire like as I was opening this. Like I just had to wait for the right time to do so. Like I knew I was going to have to coach every single class for the first
Okay.
you
That
know
was
like
gonna be one of my questions.
so
Uh-huh.
but yeah, it's it'll be good to bring them on for sure. So be able to get a little bit of be able to get a little bit of a rest. So
Yeah, man. You had me at hybrid athlete.
yeah,
That's awesome. I think it's funny. One of my friends, he has a joke where he he actually did an episode of the pod with me. His name is Dan Hopwood,
yeah,
and he was talking about how back in the day, if I wanted to lift weights and running, that was just lifting weights and running. He's
yeah.
like, now I get a fancy name of hybrid athlete, which is
Isn't
really
that
nice.
crazy? Like, yeah, like, can't you just be an athlete, right?
Yeah.
Like, why does it have to be a hybrid? Like, can you just be an athlete?
Yeah, yeah. And hey, I mean, hybrid sounds cool. It
Yeah,
sounds multidisciplinary,
yeah,
which I'm here for. So I've what, and I actually was going to bring up my buddy Dan anyways, but you've been putting out some Hyrox content. Talk to me a little bit about that, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I'm actually training for my first Hyrox.
Let's go, dude! I want to do one so bad.
Yeah, so I'm doing one at the end of May, up in um, Manhattan. We're on the
Okay.
Hudson River. It's gonna be like definitely hot out,
It's
but
gonna suck.
it's gonna absolutely suck. No breeze ever on the Hudson, but no, like I really fell in love with it because like I think it gives us an opportunity, like as former athletes, like to compete in something again, right? Like I always said I don't miss playing college baseball, but I miss like the competition aspect of things,
Mhm.
right? I hate running. I have zero endurance. Obviously, like I'm starting to build up like a little bit of endurance, right? Uh, trying to get like onto your level.
Hey, appreciate it.
I'll never forget when we took that OrangeTheory class together, and your base was like an 8.9. I'm like, oh my god, like, this dude's
Oh
running
yeah,
miles an hour just casually.
were we doing
So
like a tread 50, or we were doing all out with Aoki? That's when they
yes,
were
yes,
rolling that
yes,
out.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I
we did
remember that.
three
I was
tread
like, dude,
blocks
this
of all out
guy's
Aoki.
I was like, this guy's crazy. But yeah, no, it's I wanted to take like the mental challenge of that. I have the strength aspect of everything, but and I've always not necessarily like couldn't stand running, but like I was just never really good at it, right? So
Mhm.
like I just really wanted to, like to take on the challenge of doing it, and I
Love it.
wanted to become like an affiliate, like with Empire, with Hyrox, and like I thought that was going to take like a long time to do, and they actually reached out to us like not even 2 days after we opened.
Huh. Did you reach
So
out to them first, or did they find you?
oh no, they found me, so I was like, yep, I'm in, like let's do it. So and then like the rep for Hyrox down here, Karen's awesome. She actually wrote me like a program, like to be on, for like the next couple months, like to train for it because, dude, like the whole first month at Empire, man, like my fitness took like a massive hit. Like I
Oh,
was
you're so busy, I'm sure, just starting everything up.
busy, exhausted. Like I had to remind myself to eat, you
I
know.
believe it.
So, but yeah, we're this week, like it worked out every day. So
Hey,
we're
let's go.
we're on the come up. But yeah, man, I enjoy like the competition aspect of that stuff. Members are excited about it. And I think our goal is like, I think they release all of the rest of the races like in April for the rest of the year.
Okay.
I think our goal as a studio is to get like 25, 30 people, like to kind of like pick a race, like toward the end of the winter or something like that of this coming winter, I guess you would say.
Hmm.
And, like all, you know, essentially, conquer a high rocks together. So
Beautiful. I
yeah,
love
man,
it. I had
fun.
not heard of Hyrox until maybe like a year ago, and
Yeah,
it was my buddy Dan. He lives in Singapore right now,
yeah,
and
that's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And he's been building a nutrition supplement or a supplement company geared towards recovery and performance
Yeah,
for hybrid athletes. And
yeah,
Hyrox was huge overseas, and
yeah. Oh
so
yeah, right now.
yeah, and so they're trying to get in on the Hyrox market, and they've got some athletes and stuff, and they're still like building formulation and that sort of thing for their products,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, so he started telling me about it, and then all of a sudden I started. I mean, granted, I'd probably seen it and just not paid attention, but as soon as he started telling me about it, I swear, oh, Hyrox competition here, Hyrox
Yeah.
competition there. I started seeing it everywhere, and I think the Hyrox wave is a good wave to ride.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's it's like CrossFit, but less likely to injure yourself. I feel like,
Yeah.
and that's
No,
not a knock on CrossFit.
yeah.
Like,
No,
if you
yeah.
do
Absolutely.
CrossFit right, you're
It's
good. But
more. Yeah. It's honestly just a lot. Like there's not like you're not really lifting weights in the competition, right? Like it's a lot of just training on like really tired legs, right?
yes,
Like where your 1K runs are essentially like your recoveries, you know.
right, right,
But but you're running like over half a mile every single time, so it's like
right.
it's a huge like mental challenge. Yeah, like my goal for my first one is to try to get like an hour 40 if I can.
Uh huh.
You know, I wanted to do solo. I think because like I just wanted to see like where like I stand personally and like everything when it
Hmm.
comes to it. I feel like if I had a partner with it, like if I was doing like men's doubles, like I feel like every time it was like my turn, I would just go so hard that like I would just like gas myself out, and
Mm.
so I want to establish like a good
Yeah, figure
pace.
out the strategy of like a solo
Exactly.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that I get that. That makes sense.
and I would also just feel a lot more like fulfilled like if I did it by myself, like being like my first time, So
Yes.
I've never really like I've always said like I wanted to train for like a marathon and like do that kind of stuff, but I know my body and I know like myself like like I do not run I do not want to run 26.2 miles.
Oh, I
but
hear
I
you.
but I do want to conquer like a really challenging race aspect of things. So yeah, I'm thankful for the Hyrox world for sure, because like it's gonna be awesome. Like I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great thing to focus on. Yeah, I was at the Arnold Classic this past
Yeah,
weekend,
yeah.
and
That's what I was just gonna ask you. How'd that go? I
yeah,
saw
well,
you
it,
cranking out some bench presses over there.
yeah, it went well. And I'll tell you the story, but I ran
Yeah,
into an Orange Theory coach who I'd never met.
yeah,
She coaches at a couple of different studios, and she was super awesome. But she had just got a certification as a Hyrox coach, which
yeah.
that was not even something I was aware was a thing. Was that you can become a certified Hyrox coach for some of their professional athletes. I didn't know if you had heard about that at all. I was like, oh, huh.
No, it's actually really interesting. That's like no, wait, hold on. You kind of cut out for like 5 seconds. Yeah, I was like trying to pick up what you were saying. You kind of cut out
Oh,
for like
okay,
5
gotcha.
seconds.
Basically, she said she got certified as a
Oh
Hyrox
yeah,
coach by Hyrox or
yes,
their entity. I didn't know that was a thing. So you're
yeah,
aware of this?
yeah. So on I'm actually going through the course like right now too.
Oh, okay, sick.
So yeah, on the website you could like opt like to take the course and everything. I don't know like how much money it is to take, but I think I may have gotten like a little bit of a discount because like Empire, like affiliation and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah. No, there's definitely like I have to be like certified in that in order to host like Empire like classes like that are catered like the high
Like, if this is the Hyrox class, you have to be
exactly
a Hyrox certified. Okay.
exactly. Yeah. No, I mean that's awesome. Like it's not like too difficult of a course, but like it's really cool to see like what their mindset and like perspective is on everything for sure.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, because I would identify as a hybrid athlete.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious what an accredited organization views that as, and sort of the philosophy that goes into that.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I have my own version, but I'd be curious
Right.
what they
Yeah,
think.
absolutely. It's like you like their version of like you know like my thing is like when it comes to high rocks too is like I don't think I'm ever gonna train on like a 10 mile run
Hmm.
like why do you have to do that, right? Obviously, right, like the endurance aspect of things, but like the other day I did like 5 rounds of like a 1200-meter run with like a 1 minute, like walking, like recovery in between, and then I did like 5 rounds of like a quarter mile run with like 30-second walk recovery, and like I felt like really, 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 really good after. So if you're not running right like 10 straight miles during the actual race, like why are you going to run like a 10 miler? You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
So
specificity for training.
exactly. So yeah, like it's interesting to see like what their like perspective on things is. It's not like you have to follow what they say to a T.
Hmm.
You can still kind of like cater the classes how you want to, but yeah, like the certification is dope for sure.
Nice. Okay, I might look into it just
Yeah,
because I literally had no idea.
yeah. We got
Uh,
to get a High Rocks together, bro. Men's
yeah.
double.
Well, so my buddy Dan, he wants to do one, and I told him I would do one. So
Dude, with your running conditioning, like you would crush that shit.
yeah,
Like
I'm very much not super familiar with the ski erg, so I'd have to get some
yeah,
time in on that. And I think also because what you do like 100 wall ball tosses,
Yeah, yeah. So you
that's
end
fucked
with
up.
that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like
So
you end with that too. Like it's not first, second. Like you end with that. So I think the ski is first, and then I think the 50-meter sled push is next. 50-meter sled pull. Four, I think maybe the farmer's carry.
okay,
I think the rowers five. I could be wrong on this
okay,
timeline. Like that's what I think it is. I know that the wall bars are last. I know that the burpee to broad jump may be like second to last.
okay.
Um,
How
burpee
many
to
how
broad,
many how many things are there? There's 6 or 8.
I think there's eight.
There's
Eight.
8. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it all sounds terrible. Like,
It all sounds terrible, but man, like it builds some freaking character, bro.
oh, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
especially,
Yeah.
especially being outside on the freaking Hudson River with no breeze, like in the middle of Manhattan, like right as the summer starting. Like I actually have a buddy who said like so he did the Manhattan one last year. He said that he didn't finish and like he was in the medical tent. He trained and he trained for like 5 months apparently.
Oh
I'm like,
my gosh.
I'm gonna be screwed here. But no, it's just like I'm excited to take on like the mental challenge. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you're gonna be gassed,
Yeah,
but yeah,
well,
it's cool. It's cool to have so many people like at Empire like be really like interested in that stuff. Like it makes me happy to see that they're like about it. So
well, I think like working out just to work out is awesome. Like just to be in shape, I mean. But when you have a goal that is performance based, that is slightly competitive, I
yeah,
feel like it just gives you that edge when you're training. And
absolutely.
I think part of the reason why folks avoid it, or at least I know one of the reasons I avoided it, was just like, what if you train and then you're bad at it? Which I mean is always a possibility. Like the guy you just mentioned trains for 5 months, ends up
Yeah,
in the medical tent.
yeah,
That shit happens. But eventually, I feel like I was just getting to the point where I was getting anxious about not doing it, like
yeah,
not putting myself out there. And eventually that feeling overweighed the feeling of being scared.
yeah.
So I was more scared of not doing it than I was of doing it.
That's what I'm saying. I've been having like I have like a bunch of friends that have done it already. I'm like, man, like the FOMO is real. Like I want to do this shit.
Uh huh.
But, yeah, man, it's you know everything like that has transpired like over the last like few years, like Hyrox, Empire, like leading OrangeTheory, like all of that stuff has just been so like it's really shaped me,
Oh, I can only imagine how much
like
growth you've experienced.
yeah, like I'll never but I owe it to people like other people, man, like that have just like put me in the spot. Like I always say like as cheesy as it sounds, like I could not have done this for people. I could not have done this if it wasn't for people like like Scotty, like Aaron, Tommy, and like all my people from know, all my people from back home too, where it's like I wouldn't like if I wasn't essentially like surrounded by people like you guys, like I wouldn't have been able to do this. Like I wouldn't be like doing a high rocks race. Like I wouldn't be doing this stuff. So
For
you know,
sure. For
yeah, man.
sure. Yeah. I mean, I can speak to you, those people you just mentioned. I mean, you know, Tommy, someone we both know, he
Yeah,
is absolutely infectious.
love Tommy, man.
His
He was at
his
my wedding. He was at my wedding, man. Like the way this guy danced throughout the entire wedding, like I
oh,
love.
I'm sure he was going the whole
Yeah,
time.
I just love Tommy. Yeah, he's just like such a good dude, man.
Yeah, he's got an infectious personality. Scotty Banks, just like technical knowledge,
Oh man,
and just real hardcore.
like perspective on things. You know what I mean?
Yes, great perspective. Erin, I think she's just such a great leader.
That's,
Whenever I text her, I always say, "Hey, boss."
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
so much respect for her. I mean, yeah,
Actually,
I mean,
I just
there's a lot of good head coaches. Aaron Brooke, Kelly Doherty. I mean, they
oh
were
yeah,
all
yeah.
solid.
All
Um, you asked me about the Arnold. So
yeah,
I did the Arnold pump and run. Do you know the premise of the pump and run?
Oh no, I was about to ask you what is it?
Okay, so the general premise is the day of you arrive and they weigh you with shoes on, which I did not know until a few days beforehand. So, and whatever your weight is with your shoes, you have to bench press your weight, and you can bench press your weight up to 30 repetitions.
Okay.
Every rep subtracts 30 seconds off of the 5K that you do later in the day.
Okay.
Um, the winner of the pump and run is typically the person who has bench pressed all 30 reps and also has the fastest
Yeah.
5K time. Because,
You won, right?
huh?
You won, right?
I got second place.
That's fucking sick, though.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool. So Arnold Schwarzenegger started the race.
Oh, it's so
Um,
cool.
he sent us off, and I beat my high school PR by 6 seconds 12 years
That's so
later.
cool. That's awesome.
Um, so I ran a 16:46 5K, 5:26 average mile.
God damn. That's crazy. You just sprint. That's nuts, bro.
And I knocked out all 30 reps of the weight, because even if you just get 28, that means your total is a minute slower, because it's
Yeah.
30 seconds off of your time. So the people who do the run a super fast 5K, say they run it in 5 minutes, 5
Yeah.
for each
Yeah.
mile, but they only get like 3 reps. Well, then they don't do well, because even though they're wicked fast, they can't bench press. And so it's a
Takes me 16 minutes to run a mile and a half.
hey,
It's
we all have different skills. We all have
I
different
could not
skills.
be kidding. It's crazy. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's awesome,
so
bro.
that was really cool. That was 12 weeks of
Yeah.
training, and yeah, so glad I did it. Again, just like, I think the process of just having a reason really helps with
Yeah.
willpower.
Yeah.
Because it's Ohio, bro. Like, there was days in January where it's
Freezing.
-4 degrees outside, and it's -4, and I've got to run 9 miles. And it's 6:30 in the morning. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so, but it's
Yeah.
like, why am I doing this? Why am I
Right.
doing this? It's like,
Why?
okay,
Like,
that's right.
yeah. Like what's like like the ultimate vision there?
Yes, exactly. And when you have that, then you're grounded, and it makes, even though like there were like my least favorite thing was I would do mile repeats once a week.
Yeah.
Um, and almost sometimes I would get nervous the night before, because I'm like, fuck, it's gonna be cold. I'm gonna run a mile, rest, and do
Right.
another, and I'm trying to do these pretty quick. Um, but then the feeling of, one, being nervous, then two, doing it and it sucks and you want to quit but you don't,
Yeah.
afterwards, bro, like,
Oh, it's probably the greatest feeling in the world, man.
oh, you're like, oh yes, I did it. I don't care that
Especially,
I have to coach 4 Orange Theory
yeah.
classes, tonight. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
Is he doing a freaking 16-minute, 30-second 5K?
Yeah, the rest of the day is not going to
Just,
be as challenging, and
yeah.
it drips into the rest of your life also. Like, you're just like dialed in. You have to
Yeah.
be better with your time management.
Yeah, I always say that you have to be like you have to do things that are like bigger than yourself. You know, like you have to. Like I just like that's for me too with like the Hyrox thing too, bro. It's like I told myself, okay, like if I don't want to run a marathon, like what can I do like to really like challenge myself? I can't do the Ironman because I can't swim.
Yeah, I'm not a good swimmer either.
Like I'm not a good swimmer. Literally can't swim. Um, but yeah, man, like you have to do things like outside your comfort zone, like in order to grow mentally, physically, like everything, and you know whether it's opening up a gym or like doing a Hyrox. Like I never thought like I'd be in this like position. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Well, I when was starting the podcast, um, I don't even have a studio. I just like hop place to place.
Yeah, I love
But
that.
the first time I recorded it, I accidentally didn't record audio, uh, which is the whole fucking point. And
Yeah.
so I uh, I was so embarrassed that I didn't record another episode for months. So I was like, oh my god, like, bro, you're so stupid.
No, man, you just like, dude. people are like, so understanding about that shit though, man. No, I
Oh,
love
for
yes, bro.
sure.
You keep on going, man. Keep on going with this. Like bro, like this morning, I don't know why, but like for some reason, like my stutter's been like so bad this week.
Uh-huh.
This morning, I literally like couldn't demonstrate anything. Like it was so bad. Like
In
I
class.
literally, like yeah, like I literally said like I think like 42 people in the room this morning. Like I said, and I was like, "Yo, like I'm sorry, like I literally can't speak right now." And like, oh, don't trust me. Don't people 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 won't not listen because you forgot to press record one time. So
Oh, I know. Well, and obviously I didn't release it. And then the next time I recorded, I did an episode, and then the person didn't want me to release it. They were like, like, I don't feel good about, having being put out on the internet yet.
yeah,
I was like, okay, that's fine. But after like two false starts, I was just so determined. I'm like, all right, we're locked in. I'm getting this done. I don't care what it takes.
I love it. You gotta get a
Yeah.
studio next, bro.
What's that?
You gotta get a studio.
I know that is definitely the plan.
I love it.
I've been looking at like some co-working spaces, and
Yeah,
just like renting out a small little office,
yeah,
and then I've got like decor and stuff, and I feel
yeah.
like that's helped so much with the vibe. That way I can like
Oh,
put
yeah.
myself
Absolutely, bro.
out there.
Listen, you gotta just like start, somewhere, right? Like the best thing to do, like when you want to start something, is just like to start it. You learn along the way, right?
Right. Oh, 100%. Yeah, just start it, and like we're coming up on the year anniversary. It'll be I started it sometime in March. I don't know when.
Nice, it's awesome.
And I've stuck to one episode every 2 weeks the entire time. That was my goal.
Yeah,
That's what we've done. And I don't get as many reps as I would like. Once every 2 weeks isn't that often, but slowly the confidence builds.
yeah,
Slowly, I feel like I get better at just relaxing and just listening, and
good
it's so
man.
much fun, man. I'm gonna keep knocking these out. Hopefully, as long as I can.
Dude, it was an honor, man. Like anytime you want me to come on, man, like I'd love to come on and just yeah, like shoot the shit with you, bro. Like I miss you down here, man. Like, when when you hit me up the other day, I was like, oh, Jake, like yes, like I miss this kid so much. Like I was
Oh,
like,
well, I
fuck,
appreciate that, and it was very gratifying. I've been following your social media journey this entire time,
like appreciate it.
and it's been awesome to watch. And being a fitness professional, I've been wanting to get more fitness pros on the pod, and I was like, I haven't talked to Sammy in a while. Like, I hope he'll want to. You text me back so quick. You're like, I'd
Yeah,
love to, bro, and I was like,
yeah.
oh, let's go, baby.
Brother always a brother, man. That's
Yeah,
it.
well, I appreciate that.
Absolutely, bro.
What is the vision for Empire, and where can people follow the journey?
Yeah. Empire Training Academy Raleigh is the Instagram handle.
Mhm.
The vision, man, it's a really fun question to think about right now because I think when I first started this, right, like the vision was just kind of like not necessarily like only provide a place like for people to come work out, right? Like I want to establish a brand. Like I want it to be a place that people are upset if they don't come to
Right.
in the day, right? I want to launch like a clothing line eventually,
Nice.
which we have like some like pretty good apparel and stuff like that. But like I want it to be like a whole brand. Um, I'm not a person that has to have like six, seven, eight like locations, like to be happy, right? But if I could eventually like put an empire in like every like big city around like the country like that'd be awesome.
Make
I
Empire an empire.
exactly like I dream big. I work hard at it, but like right now I think like if I could get to like 400 members consistently by like the end of this year, that would be a dream. Like
Yeah.
that would be an absolute dream to where I like never thought like that was possible. So yeah, man, it's just like a work in progress, but we're getting there. So
Well, awesome, man. Congrats on everything. I can't believe that you pulled it off in the timeline that you have.
thank you, man.
It's
Appreciate it.
truly, it's just literally, if people listen to this, I think the lesson I'd like you to take away is just do it. Like,
Do it.
whatever it is, just do it. You'll learn as you go. That's just how it is. It won't be glamorous. Just do it.
My dad said to me, he was like, okay, like if you fail, what happens? I'm like, I don't know.
No one will know.
Yeah, he's like, exactly. Like, okay, like if you fail, so what? You know, it's you just gotta, like when you're passionate about something, like you just gotta take the risk. Like everything will always work out, right? Like if I wound up getting like that last spot that I was gonna get, right, this wouldn't have been what it is like today, right?
Yeah,
So
thank God that didn't work out.
yeah, exactly. Like everything just has a way like of working out. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, if you don't mind, there's a couple things I want to ask you just
Right.
after the pod real quick.
Yeah,
But are you cool to wrap?
yeah, man, absolutely. No, thank you
Awesome.
so much, Jake.
Cool. Well, everybody give Sammy a follow, give Empire a follow. And thank you so much for doing this, man. I appreciate it. What's up, everybody? It's Jake here, Fowler and Friends. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me and all of us over here at Fowler and Friends. So if you could please like, subscribe, comment, do all of that. But definitely subscribe, share the videos with your friends, and keep on supporting the channel. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.